So ignore the firmware you see in these pictures until I actually show my firmware, where you'll see it actually changed, because I swapped my firmware. I got rid of Real Big Fist and God Killer. For Gouge, 2 points of Gouge, and then still maintaining one Real Big Fist, I figured that was actually the best optimal performance for this build. You know, before, again, I used to use 3 rubber bands to get the 10% lifesteal that way. And the 10% damage reduction is nice, but it was mostly for the lifesteal. Until I learned that the lifesteal on rubber band doesn't work at all when I tested it. And how invincible I wasn't even coming from it. Which made me realize, oh, I guess the 10% from Teen Witch mod alone is all you need, really. Also because when you stack more damage, you're healing more off the lifesteal, so it's like, you know what, I'd rather just do that. Let's just get even more damage. It'll help our tankiness a little bit too. But we'll still have Teen Witch. We'll still have the huge lifesteal buff off our rep kit whenever we pop it. So that's nice. But one thing, I'm hovering on this class mod right now, this purple class mod, because as I emphasized, this is the one you want to switch to whenever you deal with a 1 crit wonder wild card mission, event, or anything like that. Anything that involves the stupid 1 crit wonder modifier that just shuts down this build completely, all you got to do is swap to this class mod, and then you become OP in that event, because both your Specters and your minions will get 20% crit hit chance on everything they hit. You will get 10% crit hit chance on your melee and 10% crit hit chance on your guns, and with fast firing guns, that's all you really need to land those crits to one-shot kill everything. And then finally, and most importantly actually, it's 10% ordnance crit hit chance too, which applies to every single swarm homing projectile that our grenade shoots. So our grenade, which is kind of mediocre, ends up becoming insanely OP for that event. It's just one grenade kills like 5 enemies with that 10% crit hit chance on it. So I just want to emphasize that. You will lose the lifesteal healing on your shield, of course, the main synergy to the tankiness. You'll still have lifesteal on your health, though, if your health's ever breached. And I mean, it won't really matter much anyway, because your minions and everything will just kill. Your minions and grenades will just kill the entire field so quickly anyway. And you can just always swap back to the Teen Witch mod when you get to like Vile Lictor or some boss that doesn't have that modifier, and then you're good to go. So yeah, I just wanted to make that comment. Like obviously that's like a perfect crit hit chance, like variety of a crit hit chance mod to find. It's like literally perfection for a swap to the modifier. But before that, I think I was using any mod that gave me any mod that gives your Reapers a decent crit hit chance, like melee crit hit chance, skill crit hit chance, that kind of combination too is what you want to find in the meantime and slap on for that event until you get something really OP like this mod. Anyway, to comment more about this build, what I love about this build, as you'll see in the videos, is it's a Reaper melee build, true, but it's also really good with Specters, with my gun damage. Everything is getting, it's like an everything build. Everything is getting buffed, to wild degrees. But yeah, my Reapers get buffed the most, but then my Specters, that's also why I got rid of the Real Big Fist 2 combo, because I realized, wait, hold on, if I get rid of the second rank of Real Big Fist and God Killer, that'll let me get the 15% action skill damage on Gouge, which would apply to my Specters and my Reapers, and I would get the cooldown rate, which again is great for Specters, because Specters don't recover their health, so it's harder to maintain Specters on other minion Vex builds that don't capitalize on action skill cooldown. So I like that combination, and I thought of going all 3 ranks to get the action skill cooldown the most, but I thought, no, let's keep at least one of the Real Big Fists, because when I tested the bullet dummy damage, that was like perfection for balanced damage on my Reapers. It's like my Reapers, they did a smidgen less damage when I did that change, but only a tiny smidgen, it wasn't even noticeable. But then my Specters got another decent chunk more damage. I got another decent chunk more cooldown reduction. So I'm like, yeah, which helps maintain the Specters again. And it helps also when I'm using Reapers, get back up to 4 charges quicker, so that I'm able to, because in other minion builds, it's easy to maintain your 3 Reapers indefinitely in combat, But it's much harder to do that as well as get your charges back too. For like the next wave of enemies, or again, when you suddenly want to switch it up and spawn a bunch of Specters instead. It's rare, but there are enemies and fights here where Specters are superior than Reapers for dealing with it. I deliberately did the Origo boss because that was a prime example. Now Reapers will fly. They can fly. They can still handle flyers. It's just they're much slower to deal with because they have to. Because flyers obviously usually go fast and they're chasing them. They're half the time their swings won't connect because of that. Don't get me wrong, it's still useful. If you don't have Specters, still spawn Reapers for flyers. But Specters are much better at. They're like turret gun sentinels on the ground that just spray. Like you'll see in one of these videos, I go and just fight a whole army of Krags with elite Krags in the mix too, and a Vile Krag, and they all just drop like flies in the sky. It's just so awesome to see. So that's also why we do this, because it's like, how do I balance this build so I can use Reapers, but still make sure Specters aren't useless at least. And of course, I still need to get good gun damage, especially after they nerf Groundbreaker, so that Groundbreaker is still worth it. So I can still rack up damage from non-melee hits to make my melee hit do a bunch of damage. And because of that, like a balanced like damage build is really best and ideal when you're using Groundbreaker. So that way you can like stack up different forms of damage quicker for your Groundbreaker to unleash its ultimate damage quicker. So because of that, it's like, yeah, we got really nice balance and everything. We got good gun damage, fire rate. We use all 4 elements on our guns. So we got our Incendiary, which is great because half the enemies in this game are flesh enemies. So I always want to make sure I always have. If you're going to do this, it's ideal to at least have one Incendiary gun so that you can make your minions Incendiary on demand. And then if you don't have other things, then just go Kinetic for everything else. Kinetic is best anyway for Order because they have too many different bars on their health constantly. However, we still keep a Shock and a Corrosive gun for the rare bosses that are pure shield or pure health. Or like the Timekeeper boss who's so tanky that the fight just lasts long enough on a build like this to justify switching between the guns, the elements, as his bars go down. And, just to emphasize, this is not a boss killing build, obviously, as you'll see. There's so many one-shot boss kill builds out there, including for Vex. But, this is like one of the best builds I found for clearing mobs very quickly, being invincible, and also still killing bosses relatively quickly. And some of these bosses you'll see with like the War Elephant, who's also the buffed War Elephant, the big Encore event boss. Like, just like other builds, on this guy I'm able to blink and kill him. Of course, that's also because I'm using Incendiary again. The Soothsayer shotgun is just so awesome for this build on any sort of flesh enemies and Ripper faction, because you just go around like you're Doom Girl, Doom guy, but I'm a girl character, so like Doomslayer's little sister going around with this Doom shotgun and meleeing two between that and just eviscerating them in piles of blood. I mean, it's literally like Doom, cartoon Doom, basically, on this build. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little sick. That's why I keep breathing and all this stuff going on here. But let me conclude for the most part. So yeah, that's why we go for different elements in our guns. Our rep kit is perfect because, again, it's an order rep kit with accelerator. So that combined with caffeine is a great combination for maintaining our Specters and minions. But it also has lifesteal, which of course on this build is like, it becomes, every time I pop it, it also makes this into an even superior tank. So that's why I use that over the mini triple bypass, because I realized this is actually better than the triple bypass for this kind of build, since I'm able to stack lifesteal with accelerator on it. And it has a slightly less cooldown than the triple bypass too. The only thing, of course, it doesn't have 3 charges, but it's fine, man. Like, I guess you could go triple bypass and you could just spam the thing constantly as you get kills, it's true. But I like having this balanced like lifesteal on my rep kit too. The main thing, so this build for the most part is done. There's tweaks like getting better DPS versions on my guns, getting a weapon enhancement that's the same as my current, but actually has an effect that helps my guns in some way. So I could still get better weapon enhancements. The big thing is the shield. Getting a triple turtle stack on an energy or an armor shield in the future would be perfection finally on this build, because it's really tanky, of course, but the thing is, it could get even tankier if I get a triple turtle. Like, I could go from 25,000 armor here to 50, 60,000 in the future whenever I get that armor roll. And then at that point, this build becomes as tanky as my Aiming, practically, because at that point, there's never going to even be a threat of death at that point. My Aiming's still tankier, though. Again, don't let anyone lie to you. Vex is not tankier than Aiming. Aiming's still the tankiest if you build him right. As you'll see in my next video when I do my Aiming Ordnance build, who's just absolutely insane. He's frankly better than this build for both mobbing and bossing and tanking. So, that's what's funny. I love this build. This build seems so good now. And yet, it's still inferior to my Aiming that I came up with. When it comes to just my style, which is casually playing a tank and not relying on combos, crits, any of that nonsense, just raw damage and raw stats to kill everything in front of me, just casually not paying attention to anything, that's how I like to play. Vex is the best in the beginning because her minions make you pretty much invincible from beginning to end. Aiming is still mostly invincible because of his skills, but you can't have them forever in the beginning like you can in endgame on my endgame build for him, so he's not as good as Vex in the beginning of the game for this kind of casual tank play. But in endgame, you'll see my Aiming build. It'll be my next video finally. I finally got the last passive for him. He's just, like, he's better than this Vex, hands down. He's tankier. I mean, he has the triple turtle shield, so that obviously helps. But even if my Vex did, he'd still be tankier because he has infinite, like, uptime on his ridiculously tanky skill, which is the most important thing. But so yeah, he's tankier. He clears mobs either at the same speed as Vex here, or even a little bit faster, actually. And he absolutely kills bosses faster. Like the Timekeeper here, you'll see he kills them way faster than this Vex does. He's actually my farm build, my boss farm build now, despite being a pure tank Aiming. He's like, no, it's perfect, because I just go in and I shoot my unlimited rocket launcher in their face, and, you know, they die. Every boss will die 10 to 20 seconds-ish. I'm completely invincible, and I don't have to set up any annoying combos or anything like that, like all these other speedrun builds do. And that's why I don't really like doing that stuff. I don't like having to, like, pop my amp reb kit, land my crit hit on the head, activate my forge or whatever skill on whatever character that gives me some status, maybe bonus damage, or I don't know. Some sort of stack that you have to, like, combo up multiple button pushes to then one-shot the boss. I've never been a fan of those builds. I don't like setup builds. I just want to go in, guns blazing, shoot them till they die. And I enjoy that more because I like having an actual fight too. It's like, okay, I have an actual fight, but also make me immortal. Like, as long as I'm completely invincible, I'm a tank build too, then I don't have to worry about the whole, oh, the game's harder because the fight's longer. Well, no, as long as I'm totally invincible too, it doesn't matter. And then I have fun because I actually have a fight. It's you know, it's very easy still, but like, that's my style. That's why I have to say, like, this is like one of the best builds in the game I found for that style, is what I want to emphasize, the ultimate casual style. But with that, let me finally show the video.
Vex, don't think I've forgotten about you.
Super not the time, dude. Got a planet of possessed people to free.
You don't care about the people of Kairos. You're here for the vault. You're just a murdered tourist, a grave robber, shooting and looting your way through piles of people who never wanted you here. You already doomed this planet and all the others when you freed Lilith. Hell follows her, and now there's your hands around their throats.
On to the next one! Everywhere.
You have seen this place. I built it for Zadra. She had a soft spot for plants. And I suppose I had a soft spot for her. I won't make that mistake again.
Holy shit! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Zadra had risen above sentimentality, above the core weakness of every human. The need to feel, drowning out the need to think. But she was just another threat to me and my order.
Off you go!
vaults will stay closed.
The command bolts will open the way. This one's for you, Zadra. The door as big as the Timekeeper's ego. Gotta be close now.
I'm enjoying the moment to myself. Stargazing. Join me, if you like. Just think, Vault Hunter.
If you had never arrived, we would still have futures, gleaming and bright, within the Timekeeper's crystalline order.
But now we all will die. Every last soul. Because of you and your chaos.
All I have ever known is forever. That is my use. Forever. Here. As the clock ticks, I remain still. My order is eternal. You are a moment that shall soon pass. So let's enjoy it.
Wanna be suppressed?
This music making so enjoyable.
Can't get still!
Is this your quiet ending? Enough! Free will. A rampant tumor, killing my perfect system. And why should you get to be free? All you do is destroy, while I must hold back chaos for eternity!
You think you're the prisoner? You did all of this yourself!
Is that what I look like through the eyes of a Vault Hunter? Someone who has a choice. I was given
I see your dirty face hide behind your comedy done in vain. Truth is hard to swallow, so you wait to die. Justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie. And you take your time, and you do your own. When you leave your bed,
Everything breaks. Even cages.
So, the Timekeeper's order was perfect. It was supposed to last forever. But, Vault Hunters, they have a way of screwing up your plans. A Vault Hunter is more than a warrior, more than a treasure seeker. A Vault Hunter is a force of nature. They live on the Borderlands between order and mayhem. A Vault Hunter is the universe's way of righting the scales when they're tipped. Kairos would never be a prison again.
reached the final challenge of pity. I was starting to false guardians do not mean false treasure. Endless malformed suffer and take from it that with which the timekeeper imbued it. A portion of his power misplaced.
Vault Hunter's gotta start somewhere.
All that has happened will happen again.
And that is the build. We'll see how it is months from now. If it's still OP.